Hello Makeup Void, I'm Trin and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is products categories that I'm no longer buying. Just products, categories, things that I just have zero interest in purchasing from again. So give this video a like, subscribe. Let's go ahead and get rolling. So first two things are not makeup related, but I'm going to include them, and the first one is fragrances. I do not breathe through my nose unless it's required of me in yoga. I just don't do it. I got a sinus infection last year and it just has never completely gone away, but even since that, I don't have a sense of smell. Unless it's like extremely potent like cilantro or onions, I don't really smell it, and I don't care to. Fragrances, body mist, I have zero interest. I even went to a Sephora for my birthday month and I was like, oh, let me dabble in some fragrances. Oh, everybody loves Sol de Janeiro body mist. Let me try them. I smelled all of them they had like on display. I didn't like a single one. And I have one fragrance that I bought before I moved to Colorado, so that tells you how long ago it's been, and I use it maybe once a year. Yeah, I don't use it. I don't use it all. It's the Ariana Grande, the original perfume or fragrance, whatever you call it, they had, and I really like the smell of that, but I don't breathe through my nose. I don't have a sense of smell. There is zero point in me buying a single fragrance, but I am still tempted by them. Maybe I just haven't found my perfect fragrance. Maybe not. But also I work in a healthcare setting and I'm very self-aware of what I smell like. So yeah, I do deodorant, but I'm not getting really hot and sweaty in my setting. So I don't want to wear a fragrance, anything that could trigger a potential client. I don't want anything to do with that for work. And then on the weekends, I don't see the fluffing point. So that's a no for me. Next is body care. I don't use it. I will say that I use skin scrubs in the shower. I do it once a week as part of like my self-care shower, but I only buy one at a time. I use it up entirely, and actually I need to buy a new one, but I use it so sparingly that it's not worth me like getting enamored. And I just use Tree Hut because everybody on the internet seems to love Tree Hut, so I was like, I'll try this. I think it's fine. I don't know if it's great or anything. For me, it gets the job done. But other than that, I don't use body scrubs. I don't use body creams or lotions. For the most part, I don't even do skincare, okay? So let's include skincare. I don't buy skincare products. This is my skincare routine. It is I love the brand Verse. Everything I've tried from Verse has been phenomenal for me. Maybe I should buy their body scrub. Maybe I should do that because I like their brand. But I used their makeup cleansing balm. Which is like $18. I buy the jumbo size on Amazon, which is like $30, so I don't have to repurchase it. I use their face wash, which is like $10, and then I use the Pixie Milky Mist as my moisturizer. I just douse my face in that Milky Mist and I'm good to go. Maybe once every 6 months I will use a face mask. I have a couple of them. I don't use them. It's not so much I don't think about it, but it's just like I don't want to put the time into it, and I've never felt that they made a difference from it. I only have hand lotions and hand creams for the sake of my husband. He has perpetually dry skin, and so I have them for him, but I don't really use them on myself. I have this tiny little dry patch on my ankle for some reason, and no matter what I do, it will not get better. So I will use hand lotion on that occasionally, knowing full well that it won't make a difference, but you never know. Maybe it will make a difference. Maybe I haven't found the right body lotion for it. No, but for me, body care, skincare is not something that I purchase. It's not something that I'm interested in, and I do use sunscreen in terms of skincare. I do use sunscreen, but I'm devoted to one sunscreen only, which is the Bliss Sheer Tinted Daily Sunscreen SPF 30. I believe, yes, this is the mineral sunscreen. I'm looking right at it. So I'll use that sunscreen every single day. I used it today, the Pixie Makeup Fixie Mist with rose water and green tea. I don't know if you count this as skincare or something, but I use this every day as part of my skin prep. But I'm not using those categories at all. So in terms of makeup, categories I'm no longer purchasing are color correctors. I have a color correcting primer that I'm using as an unofficial project pan because I just want to use it to fluff up. I've used a color corrector sunscreen, the Hero one. Every time I talk about it, I say I don't like it. It just makes my skin look white, and I don't need help in that category. I've tried a handful of other color correctors over the years. I've tried green ones, I've tried peach ones. I have a peach color corrector pot from e.l.f., which I think I'm going to bring with me on vacation because it's not brightening. I don't have like discoloration on my skin. There's just no point of me, and I consider myself very fortunate that I don't really have to worry about under-eye wrinkles. I don't have to be too concerned about redness. I don't have to be too concerned about hyperpigmentation or any of that. Dark under-eye circles, not my problem. So there is no point in me purchasing those products. And just in general, I'm no longer buying primers or in trying new primers. I have what I like. My holy grail is the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer, and I am going to use up the primers that I have, and once I use those up, I don't think I'm going to purchase any new primers unless e.l.f. comes with a new one. Oh, I do use a couple other skincare products. I do. So the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Skincare Mattifying Oil-Free Moisturizer is my morning moisturizer. I use this every single day. And then the e.l.f. Stay Cool Primer Stick, which I count as skincare. I will, if I ever use this up, I don't know if it's possible with a stick like this, but if I do, I will repurchase this. I count this as skincare. It has the tiniest bit of cooling to it, so I do really like it. But between this and the Liquid Poreless Putty Primer, I just don't need another primer. I just don't. Next, I have, I'm going to say About Face matte liquid eyeshadows. I have several of them. I enjoy them. They work beautifully, but I just use them as a base for other eyeshadows. So for me, they don't really have an artistic purpose. I don't mix them. I generally only use one at a time. I have a lime green, I have a forest green. I will occasionally combine those two, but for the most part, I'm just not using them in general. I think the formula is great, but I've tried doing like a couple graphic things with them and it never works out. I don't know if it's my tools or because unless you like really pack it on, like they're not the most pigmented. You do have to use a lot, but then they sheer out very beautifully. So I don't know if it's a product for graphic liners. I don't know if it's the tools I'm using, but the matte liquid eyeshadows, there's no purchase. I'm not good enough with makeup for me to play around with that. I'm not good enough with like graphic makeup to play around. I will say that they're metallic or fractured eye paints I'm more interested in purchasing out of, even though I complain every single time they come up in empty that they don't have a lot of uses in them, that you have to remove the stopper pretty quickly. But I will keep my eye open for that in case they come out with new shades, because I'm always like oohing and awing at them, and y'all know I love Tin Pan Alley. So I'm not going to discount the fractional eye paints altogether, but in terms of the matte ones, even the Half Magic eye paints, I am so enamored by them, but I don't need them, and I'm not going to just buy any more. Brow products. I have what I like. Didn't even use the brow gel today. Should I do this on camera? So the e.l.f. Instant Lift Proof Waterproof Brow Pencil. This is $3. This is the brow pencil that I've been using for ever since my hair has been a natural hair color again. When my hair is a colorful hair product, I'm just gonna use the viewfinder to fluff on my brows. And I think I bought the new shade because this looks really gray. I don't think it's my normal shade that I've purchased. And the packaging was a little different, so I don't think I got the right shade. But, I mean, it still gets the job done. I mean, it's a fine brow pencil. It doesn't last me a full month, which is frustrating, but at the same time, it's like $3. So I don't really care. I don't. And then their brow laminating gel. It works great. It makes my brows nice and fluffy. You just saw it, just fluffs them up a little bit. It has great longevity. It doesn't make my brows crusty. I really like this. So between those two products, I don't feel the need to purchase any other brow products. I'm just not interested. I just do not care at all. My brows look really colorfully different. They look really gray. But I will get over it because overall at the end of the day, I don't care. Next is mascaras. In the general sense, I will say I'm on the hunt for a new waterproof mascara just because I'm over the Essence Lash Princess waterproof. But honestly, my holy grail mascara as of the past 6 months has been the Essence Lash Without Limits mascara. It's a beautiful mascara First of all, it adds a lot of length. It's not too volumizing, which I don't care for. I mean, if it's not volumizing, I don't mind that. It says extreme lengthening and volume mascara, whatever. I see a lot of length. It's a lot of length with this mascara, but at the same time, I do a wing every single day. When I don't do a wing, it's always gonna happen where I get a mascara all over my lids, and then I'm panicking to clean it up. So I just do a wing out of just to prevent that being noticeable, because I always get it right. I always get my mascara like right at my lash line, and it always gets smudgy and gross, so I just do a wing to prevent that. So you can't even see my lashes. You can't even see them. I don't even do under eye mascara anymore because it gets too smudgy, it gets too icky. So I have my Holy Grail mascara. It's $5. It's beautiful. I like it. You can't tell I'm wearing mascara anyways. It's fine. Next, I have warm toned eyeshadow palettes. I am over them. Biggest culprit is what's on my eyes today. It is the Natasha Denona Metropolis palette. I just need to no pan left behind this bitch. I just do. This is, okay, so you have these cool tones over here, but looking at the rest of the palette, it's so incredibly warm toned. So incredibly warm toned. And I don't reach for this palette because yes, I see these, but I would love it's like a sky blue in here to pair with this shadow. You have this nice olive green, but you don't have an olive green shimmer to complement these two shades. I mean, you have this, but it's more gold than like olive on the eyes, so I don't really see the point. Anyways, this is the vast majority of warm tone palette. I don't like them. I don't reach for them. I did my fall palettes that you should shop your stash for this season, and let me tell y'all, I'm not gonna reach for those palettes. I'm just not, because they're so warm toned. There's a couple that are a little bit on the spookier, a little bit on the grungier side, which I can fall into, but for the most part, I'm not reaching for the warm toned eyeshadow palettes. Now, I will say, like peaches and like rose golds, yes, you could argue that those are warm tones, or like yellow, but I don't mind a yellow, I don't mind a rose gold, I don't mind a peach. Like those are warm tones I can get down with, but even the Ace Beauté Flare palette is going to be a struggle bus for me to no pan left behind, because you have this row of pops of warm tones and it's just not my vibe. I don't want to use these shadows. I think I have used those shadows so far in the project, but like this yummy metallic rusty orange, it's beautiful. I don't want to wear it on my eyes though. So I gotta say no to the warm tone palettes. And fall is a really hard time of year for me because I want to buy new eyeshadow palettes. I love buying new eyeshadow palettes. I love playing with new eyeshadow palettes. And the Cosmic Beauty Cosmic Brushes new palette called the Undergrowth palette, it has a lot of beautiful grungy greens in it, which I'm here for. But those are the first top two rows, and then the bottom two rows are like mucky oranges and yellows, and I'm like, I'm just not gonna reach for that. I'm gonna no pan left behind that palette for a video and then never touch that half of the palette again. The only warm toned palette that gets me truly excited, that gets me truly enamored of palettes that I want to reach for again and again, is the Natasha Denona Yucca palette. That is the one warm tone eyeshadow palette that I love and want to use again and again and again. Every other warm tone palette I'm just not here for. Also, excuse me, also, I don't like reddish orangey blushes. I don't. I have a couple on my vanity and I used a red blush today, but it was Colourpop Electro Ball, the Pikachu one, this bright yummy red. I love it for a sunburn look, but the majority of the times I'm not reaching for this. I'm not reaching for my Colourpop High School Musical red blush, which has just been on my vanity for months. And I used it once and I was like, oh, I'm gonna use it again, so let me keep it on my vanity. I don't fluffy use this. I've used it one time this year. It's a beautiful blush. Absolutely beautiful. Angelica Neefkis talked me into it. I bought it. I don't regret purchasing it, but it's just not something that I'm reaching for. It's just not. So, just hard pass. Next we have highlighters. I've only bought one highlighter this year, which is also on my cheeks because I love using it. I genuinely love using this highlighter. It's the Fenty Glow Demi Glow highlighter in the shade Too Much. The packaging is absolutely stunning. Beautiful packaging. Also stands up on Vandy, which I love. It looks a little dark in the pan, but on the cheeks it just adds this soft milky glow to it, and I absolutely milky? Why would a highlighter be milky? Make that make sense. I don't know what I'm talking about. It looks pretty on the skin. It looks absolutely beautiful on the skin. It's the only highlighter I bought. With all of the highlighter usage that I've been able to do, I can buy 2 or 3 highlighters this year. I just don't fluffing want to. And a big reason for that is that I would just much rather use a really glowy blush over a highlighter. I find that a dazzling highlighter, which I do really like, I just don't want to do it. And then the argument can be made of like, oh, you could just use it as an inner corner highlighter. I have Urban Decay Moon Dust palette with Space Pack, whatever, Star Cowgirl in here. This is my favorite inner corner highlighter. I used it today. It's absolutely stunning. I don't need to use a $50 highlighter as an inner corner highlight. I just don't need to do it. Just don't. And then lastly is bullet lipsticks. I have 3 bullet lipsticks in my collection. One is on my lips. I have it on my lips because it's in my Deca Painting Project pan, and that is Lethal Axiom. I don't like bullet lipsticks. The longevity of it sucks. And they're a creamy bullet lipstick. Like, what do you expect? Of course they're not gonna have good longevity. I go to work, I wear makeup for like 14 plus hours, and I understand that my lip product I put on in the morning is gonna wear off by the end of the night. That doesn't bother me. But what does bother me is that even though, like, if I'm gonna wear a bullet lipstick, it's Milani Secret. Milani Secret is my only bullet lipstick that I ever want to reach for. And because that is my lips but better. It wears off beautifully. I can put a gloss on top of it, like a pigmented gloss, and it just flatters my lips so beautifully. And yes, it's going to wear off at the end of the night, but it's going to do it gradually. It's going to do it subtle. It's not going to be bulky and gross, and it's just not going to look patchy. And I'm wearing this lipstick today because I'm not going to work. So this can wear off as shittily as it wants, and I won't care because I have to go to Target. I don't want to go to Target today. I don't want to leave my house. I just want to play Guild Wars 2 all day. That's all I want to do. So, but I have a Old AF Odin's Eye bullet lipstick that's long been discontinued. I got it in a mystery box like 3 years ago. I rarely use it. And it's a deep sultry red, and I love the color. But if I'm gonna do a red, I'm gonna do a lip stain. So just bullet lipsticks in general don't work out for me. I don't like them. I'm not going to use them. So those are the makeup categories of products that I will no longer be buying. Categories that I just don't give a fluff about. So thank y'all so much. Comment down below if there's a makeup category or a makeup product in general that you're just not buying. Also want to throw in full coverage foundations. I mentioned it in the other video, so it's a little repetitive, but full coverage foundations I'm over and done with. I don't need a full coverage foundation. Give me all the skin tints. I'd rather do a full skin tint with a full coverage concealer. That's my vibe. So saying no more to full coverage foundation. So that's it for today's video. As always, have joy and bye.